Marcia was a friend of mine at the Presbyterian Church in the choir before this happened, and it has been an absolute privilege to walk with them in this Kerus journey for the 21 years and to get to meet Jenny as a result of that. They left their university positions, as you heard, and took a risk. They took a risk on HIV prevention in the world, not just our community, but in the world. And in the process of that, they found some very, very deserving, needy, sad, and definitely worthy orphans in Soshanguve, South Africa, and have made a home for them and a family for them beyond just their grannies. And it has been a wonderful experience to walk with them, to go to Africa with them, and to absolutely have this whole experience. But I can't tell you like they can. And they need to update us on what they've been doing in South Africa, even in COVID. And we're so excited to bring them to the stage. So give it up for Jenny and Marcia.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you. Give it up for Kathy, Dr. Kathy Slusher, who is amazing. She's the committee chair and has worked tirelessly and has done an amazing job. Thank you, Kathy. Let's give it up for Kathy. Woo! Yeah. Wow, what a blessing to be here tonight. And you know, as you're eating your ice cream, I want to give you a little history about that amarula. If you've had the amarula, that basically is on the bottle, there's an elephant. And the reason why there's an elephant is because the amarula fruit is something that the elephants eat when it's fermented on the ground. And if you look it up on YouTube, you will see that they can't stand up because they get very drunk. So I'm just hoping that if you've had this little amarula and a little bit of wine, if someone next to you starts to fall off their chair, will you please just hold them up, okay? That would be fantastic. But amarula is from South Africa, and we just thought that would be a fun little treat this year. You know, we are so blessed to be with you tonight. And I feel so far away, I almost feel like I want to walk further up. Am I too far away? Can you see me up here? Are we good? We're good? Okay, it's so far for me. But I am just so excited. Tonight we have almost 190 people here together, and that is a record for our events. So we are so excited about that. It's just been amazing. I want to do a quick shout out to and thank not only Kathy Slusher, but also all the committee members that have worked for the last 6 to 8 months putting this event together. They have worked so hard, and we are so grateful. I'm also so grateful for Stephanie and Steve Pence, who donate this gorgeous facility because of their love for Kerus and the kids that they have firsthand worked with in South Africa. And we are so grateful for you. Thank you so, so much. I can't help but do a great shout out to one committee member that has worked tirelessly, and that is Tammy Brown, along with Jennifer Summers and Debbie. They have been amazing, and I could go on, but I am so grateful for this community as well that has made this possible tonight. One person that's missing tonight, many of you know Cannie Campbell. She is one of the vice presidents at JMU, and she is the co-chair of this event. She is not here tonight because she's in ICU. I mean, she is sitting in ICU with her husband, Paul, who is, her husband, Paul, is in ICU, and he is in pretty much critical condition. He's fighting a cancer battle, and we told her that we would pray for her, and we've prayed already tonight, but we would ask that you would remember Paul Campbell in your prayers as he's fighting in many different ways. I really appreciate that. It's huge to not have him here and not to have our Canny here. So thank you so much. You know, we are so thrilled to have so many of you here tonight. As I look around this audience, I cannot believe how many of you have walked with us for 21 years. You have been at the very start. You've watched as this organization started, where we traveled around the world to 53 countries and reached over 5 million young people and adults, leaders, with the It Takes Courage curriculum. You supported that. You walked with us. You prayed with us. You prayed through our health conditions, from the bad chicken that we would eat in Kenya and many other places. And you have been a group that has been amazing. You've also walked with us through the building of the Orphan Care Center, where in Soshanguve, South Africa, we have 138 orphans. The Granny Outreach and Academic Enrichment Center was built this year, and that's because of you. The Teen Center, where teens gather, and that's because of you. And then the last couple of years, the Safe House Project, where we opened up a safe house for our girls that were in trouble and at risk for sex trafficking. If you've walked with us for the last several years, will you just wave your hand and just say, thank you, God, and this is an amazing thing. Look at the hands all over this place. This is Kerus. You are Kerus. And I've got to tell you, for those of you who are new to us tonight, we welcome you. As Jill just said so poignantly, Kerus isn't just an organization. It's a family of committed individuals who love to reach out to the world and those hurting children and share the extravagant love of God and touch those who are less fortunate than us. As I think back to India, and one of the countries that we did a lot of work in, I'll never forget when a social worker walked up to me. She was an older woman, bent over, and after a 4-day It Takes Courage conference, she said to me, you know, Dr. Jenny, I want to tell you that this conference has changed my life. You have changed my way of thinking, my way of teaching. You introduced me to a God I never knew. And I am different, and I will never be the same, and I will never teach the same. That precious social worker to this day is actually reaching thousands of young kids in the slums of Bangalore, India, today because of your commitment to Kerus. That is something to do a great shout out, because that's one story of millions of stories, because of your heart, because of your life-giving love, which is the theme of this very event this year. Your life-giving love that has changed the hearts and lives of so many children and precious adults around the world, and have helped people understand who God is and how much they are loved and treasured. And I can't thank you enough for that.
The last 15 months have been pretty hard. We've lost people we love. We've not even been present to say goodbye to many of them. I lost my mom just a couple months ago. And grief is hard. We were sanitizing our food. Some of you were hoarding toilet paper, but let's not go there. But the reality is that we as a society have felt an anxiety, have felt a fear, and have felt grief on a level that we just had a hard time understanding. I mean, I found myself even just kind of having a bad attitude in my winter coat, sanitizing my food, and trying to figure out if that's smart or not. It's been hard. And I tell you, it's just so fun. So many of you, if I ran around, tried to welcome as many of you as I could a few minutes ago, many of you were just talking about how fun it is to just be together, to shake a hand, to hug, to enjoy fellowship. Our friends in South Africa have experienced so much of the same. Fear, anxiety, and grief. But their experiences have not been the same as ours. Their experiences have been, there's no food left. And I got a bunch of kids here that I'm responsible for. Their experience has been armed guards patrolling the township. Their experience has been friends or family standing in grocery store lines that they walked to an hour or a mile or 2 miles away, stand there for a good 2 hours, and then policemen come and shoot them with rubber bullets because the lines are too long. Our emotions have been the same, but our realities have been totally different. And it's always that way in communities of poverty. And in communities of poverty, women, especially mothers and their children, suffer the most. But our community of people in Soshanguve connected to our program had a little knock at the door. A granny came to the door, and one of our staff members, young person who risked their life to bring that box of food to them, and you can see it in the room, $40 feeds a family for about 2 to 3 weeks. And they're standing outside of the shack that's not weatherproof in the middle of the winter when they don't even have money to have any kind of electricity, and they're wrapping themselves in the Kerus quilter blankets that many of you women spent time making. And here's our staff member smiling, go, we have food. Hallelujahs, you can't imagine the dancing. Go, how are the children? How's Taboho? How's Lasejo? How's so-and-so? Calling them by name. What can we do for you? How are your neighbors? What can we do for them? It's life-changing. And most importantly, Gogo, this is all crazy, but God still loves us. Can I pray for you? Can I pray with you? You know, things happen in life we don't understand, but God loves us, and we'll get through this together. Guys, you make that happen. You're the gateway to that knock on the door. You're the ones who have that child who's been sexually exploited be able to come to a center and get a hug, get love, get healing, get support, get education, and get a chance to have some semblance of a normal life. You know, when all this goes down, you know, I found myself, originally I felt really guilty. I was here, my friends were there, and it just really was horrible. I was sleeping in my nice bed, and I knew where they were sleeping, and it was horrible. And then it dawned on me, it's not so horrible. God had me here because the reality is we can help more here than we could there at that point in time. When I was first grader, I had to memorize Psalm 121. Okay, so I had a little bucket. I didn't have any front teeth. I had one of those pixie haircuts, and I was really, really skinny back then. Little pipsqueak of a kid. And I was in first grade. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord Almighty, the maker of heaven and earth. And I've been thinking this week about that. And I if you want to hear a beautiful rendition of that song, Google Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir, I Will Lift Up My Eyes, and your spirit will soar. But I was thinking about it in the last few days, and I thought, okay, so many of us, lifted our eyes to the Lord. We said, God, help. These kids are driving me insane, and I'm getting ready to smack one. I mean, I got to figure out how to do my job. I got to figure out this computer. Their teacher's not doing this. Da, da, da. I need help. And the Lord has helped. He's helped us in our grief. He's provided when we've needed it. But we want you to really understand. They say the same Bible verse. They feel the same emotions. And when they say, God, I lift to my eyes, help me, God's provision for them has come from you. God used you to help them. And if they were here, there would be weeping and wailing and tears and hugs of their thankfulness to you. So on their behalf, I just want to say thank you. I want to say give. I promise you we will leverage your money to the best that we possibly can to get the job done. And it's not just about COVID. These needs continue for education and sexual exploitation and all these things that happen in communities of poverty.
You know, we spoke with a CIA agent just several months ago, and he said that not only is there poverty that we see everywhere, but that 25 to 30,000 children are sexually exploited, abused, and trafficked in South Africa and through South Africa. I remember just 2 years ago, there was actually a container full of almost 200 children that they found before it got on the ship to be shipped out to a neighboring country in the Middle East. Think about JMU Stadium. JMU Stadium seats 25,000 people. Can you imagine 25,000 children sitting in that stadium waiting to be sexually exploited, trafficked? Not only in the country of South Africa, but coming from different countries all around South Africa. It's considered one of the main gateways. And you know, as we have been doing orphan care work, and we have a huge influence in the township of Soshanguve, and I would say probably a good quarter of you sitting in this audience have actually been to South Africa with us. You know and you see and you understand. But our hearts started to grip. Yes, we have been able to influence with life skills education to leaders across the world, as Nick said, in 53 nations. We've been able to reach and touch over 5 million adults and children with life-saving messages of God's love and practical life skills. And now, as we mentioned last year when we were sitting together on the other side, this time of us being home during COVID, yes, we've been on Zoom calls. We've been connected with our group in South Africa all the time. However, we've had the opportunity to finish our Courage. This is the cover of our new curriculum and our new initiative called Courage to Care. It is a anti-sex exploitation of children initiative that we are not only going to roll out this fall in South Africa because we've been able to finish it and complete it. We also have a radio program called Holding Esther, which is also going to be rolled out. But we are planning as of next year, after we make sure it's culturally absolutely appropriate and everything is going well, we are going to be able to start methodically going back to these 53 nations where we have such relationships and be able to get the message out to help leaders, pastors, teachers, community leaders, business people, to be able to understand, to spot, and to report when there's sexual exploitation of children. We'd be so surprised at what happens here in our own country. And the beauty of it is we've already been asked by many different groups across this nation to take Courage to Care here in our own nation. So I am so grateful to you because you have walked with us. You helped us to be able to move towards the completion of this curriculum, this initiative, and we are so grateful. We can't wait to get back to South Africa. In fact, we have been arranging tickets to leave at the end of August, the beginning of September. And my precious daughter, where is she, Hanse? Are you somewhere? You're in the back. Hanse Masheko, she is from South Africa, one of our children who now is here in America with us. That's another story for another time. But she just told me that the president in South Africa just closed the country again to a level 4, which means bullets, rubber bullets, complete lockdown, because they had 8,000 people that were reported not HIV, I'm sorry, COVID positive. And so there is a huge third wave in that country. Please pray for our grannies and our orphans and our staff. But we are so grateful that we are so excited about rolling out this new initiative. And for those of you who are in Harrisonburg, we're going to actually have a Courage to Care 2-day training right here in Harrisonburg, Virginia, probably in January. So we'll let you know. We'll invite you if you would like to join us. We would love to have you come and join us. We are so grateful. And you know, when we talk, it sounds so grim. And to be honest with you, the realities for most of those that we love, the realities are grim. But when Keely, our director of our Orphan Care Center, FaceTimed me this morning, she said, we are all praying for you. The grannies are praying. Our children are praying for all of our American family because we love you and we can't thank you enough for having that life-giving love to change our lives. I'd like to end with a little story of one of our orphans that came to us when she was 15 years old. She is now 21. Her name is Deneo. And she actually is an amazing young woman. And her mom actually had a major stroke and she was completely disabled. Our Stephanie Pence, one of the owners of this beautiful facility, came to South Africa and helped that mother gain some strength. Unfortunately, that mother's with Jesus in heaven now. But Deneo wants to tell her story, and she did it in her words. And so if you would open your brochure on your table right now, you'll want to read along with Deneo because Deneo actually has quite a thick South African accent. And while it's so beautiful, you may miss a few poignant words that she has to say. So please listen as Deneo tells you her story and tells you thank you for saving her life. We love you. Thank you so much.
My upbringing was not as smooth as butter compared to those of my age. The situation at the time forced me to grow and own up to everything around me at a very tender age. I had to be responsible and care for my younger brothers and sisters as well as my disabled mom. Unfortunately, my mom could not do anything on her own, so as the eldest, I became the parent as a young girl. However, in the midst of the struggles, I got rescued by my super home Kerus. When I was 15 years old, doing grade 9, I was welcomed in the warm, loving, caring home of Kerus, Ho Amohela Orphan Care Center, where I was helped with my homework and gained life skills through It Takes Courage program they offered every day after school. The center helped me a lot with different things, including needed items like toiletries. The Kerus staff is loving, caring, and so kind. They would send us home with food parcels, which made a huge difference in my household as we only survive on small social grants. Being at the center helped me understand how deeply I was loved by God and motivated me a lot in terms of my social well-being as I became more confident and came to the knowledge of my strengths. During the years I spent at the center, I developed leadership skills and fell in love with assisting my peers and those younger than me with their homework. The idea of helping my peers with their homework started molding my career path, and by the time I was in matric, which is senior year of high school, I already knew my passion was to teach. I decided to enroll at UNISA, the University of South Africa, which is ranked top in South Africa. With God continuing to bless me, in 2019, I met the love of my life, a wonderful, godly man who is now my husband. I thank God and appreciate the Kerus Center for all the blessings in my life. Thank you so much for all you have done for me and my family. I am forever grateful to have been given the opportunity to be in such a safe and loving home at the center, because I honestly don't want to think of how messed up my life would have been if I didn't get the privilege to go to Kerus. I see how some of my peers from Soshanguve have turned out to be. Some have given their lives to alcohol and drugs. Some have given up in life and now are in prostitution. It pains me so much to see this happen in my community and to some of my friends. Because of this sadness, I made the decision that I will be the change I want to see. I continue to encourage the children I attended the center with that is possible to pass and further their studies and make good choices and follow Jesus. I am privileged to mark the first child to finish matric at Kerus Amkhela Orphan Care Center, and I am now so happy that many others are following. I want to take this opportunity and thank you, Dr. Jenny and Dr. Marcia, for the impact you made in my life through Kerus, and I want you to know that I love you and I appreciate you. May God bless you and all my American families out there who are still making waves and changing the lives of my fellow brothers and sisters as you did with mine. I can't hold back the joy and appreciation I have for you all. And indeed, it takes courage. Thank you.
So now we come to the part of our program that's the live auction. And I welcome John Bowman back with us. He'll be your auctioneer. And it's a privilege to have him. But also, I want you to know that when you're bidding, raise your hand. If you happen to be the winning bidder, please keep your hand raised so that one of our staffers can come to you and make sure they have the right person on that bid and get it recorded correctly. And while that's a subtle rule, there's only one real rule to this auction, and it happens the same year in and year out, but it never grows old. Bid high and bid often. And on that note, we're going to get started. Number 1, the Kavanaugh African Pottery. We have 2 beautiful bowls from Kathy Kavanaugh this year from Lost River, West Virginia, who is passionate for Kerus, and she can mold this clay into a beautiful artistic piece without even using a pottery wheel, and it's food safe. We have a 14 by 4.5-inch high bird bowl and a 14-inch by 6.5-inch high bear bowl. And those are going to be circulating for you to see in case you missed them inside by Julia Macy. And you need to bid as you would on your favorite bowl. Once that bid is taken, if you want the second one, you get it at the same price, or else another bidder can have an option to do it at the same price as well. And with that, John, take it away.
All right, one thing she didn't say is when you are the successful bidder, hold up your phone, correct?
Yes.
And then somebody's going to come around and log you in. We don't have numbers this year, so just make sure you keep your phone up until one of the event staff comes around and checks you in. All right, here you go. Buy the piece, take one or both. What are you going to get, Mark? How about $500 on it? Who to get $200 where? And $200 on it, $100 on it. $100 bill for it. How about a one, $100, 75. Where are you at? 75, 80, and 75, but you better get 80. Where are you at, Nick? 75, but you better get $80, 85. 85, but you better get 85 about an $80, 80. Got him at 80, now 85. 85 here, Adam. 100, now 25. $100, better get 25, about $100, better get 25, about $100, better get 25. $100 on it, better get 25, about it, better get 25, about I appreciate you watching that table, that bush, I can't see it at all. $100 now, 25, 125, 150, 125, better get 50, 125, better get 50, 150 now, 75, 150, better get 75, about it, better get 75, about 150, better get 75, 150, better get 75, about it, 75, about it, better get 75, about 150. Up here, but you get 75, 175, now $200, but you get 25, and 225, but you get 2.5, 225, but you get 2, but you get 75, and 2, but you get 75, 75, but you get $300, but you get 25, about 3, but you get 25, but you get 3.5, 350, and 325, but you get 3, but you get 3, but you get 3, but you get 25, but you get 3.5. It's only money, and 325, 3.5, and 325, but you get 3, but you get 3, but you get yes, I hear yes, 350 now, 75, and 350, but you get 75, about it, but you get 75, about it, 350, but you get 75, about it, but you get 75, and 375, 4, and 375, but you get 40, but you get 75, but you get 40, but you get 75, but you get 40, but you get 75, but you get 40, but you get hate to do it, gonna sell it, 375, 4, and 375, but you get 40, but you get 75, but you get 4. Are you bidding, ma'am? 375, but you get 40, but you get 75, 4. Sold, $375. There you go. You can hold your wine glass up. That'll work. Do you want one or both? They were by the piece. He just takes one. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give the backup bidder a choice. So you tell me which one you want. He takes the Bears. Would you like the Birds for $375? You're the backup bidder. You get first chance. Otherwise, I'll sell it again. You'll take it? All right, great. Good job.
Yoo-hoo! So each year we feature ironwood pieces from a Malawian sculpture. And this year we have a rhino. He's created from that very hard ironwood and is an amazing conversation piece. For full disclosure, he had a little accident coming across from South Africa, but his surgery was a wonderful success, and you're going to enjoy him spectacularly.
All right, how about $1,000 on him? Bid 500. But get 5, but get 5. Bring him on out here. How about That's the right thing. That's a rhinoceros. Yes, ma'am. And $500. Where you at? Here, $500. You get $500 now, 6. And $500. $600. $7, 600. $700. 8. And $750. And $700. $50. $700. $7.5. And now 8. $800. $750. $800. $25. $800. $25. 25, 825, but you get 8.5, 825, but you get 8.5 and 75, 8.5, but you get 75, but you get 875, 9, 875, but you get 9, but you get 875. Don't look at him, look at me. 875, 9, $900, but 25, $900, but you get 25, about a 9, but you get 925, 9.5, $1,000 on it. Now we go $1,100, $1,000, but you get 11. $1,000, but get 11,000. I'll break it down. $1,050. $1,000, but get 50, but get $1,000, but get 50, but get 1,050. Now 11. $1,050, but get 11, but get 11, 11,050, but get 11, 11,050, but get 11, 11,050, but get 1,100. Now 50. $1,100, but get 50, $1,100. I'm glad I bought mine a couple of years ago. $1,100, but get 50. $1,100, but get 50, but get 50, 50, $1,100, but get 50, 50, $1,100, but get 1150. Now 12. 1150, but get 12, but get 12, 1150, but get 12, but get 1150, but get 12, but get. He's getting weak. One more time. 1150, but get 1,200. Now 25. 1,200, but get 12 and a half. 12 and a half. $1,200, but get 12, 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 but get 12 and a half. And $1,200, but get 12 and a half. And $12, but get 1,200, but get 1,250. Now 13. And 1215, but get 13, but get 1,250, but get 13. But I'd like to know what kind of surgery he had. 1,250, but get 1250, but get 13. 1250, but get 13, but get 13. 1250, but get 13. 1250, but get 13. 1250, but get 13. 13. Now 50. $1,300, but get 50, 50, 13, but get 13. You good? You done. He's done. $1,300, but get 50, 50, $1,300, but get 50. The rest of y'all can get in. Sold $1,300 right here.
Next, we featured the Bricks and Columns Wine for a Year. Our wonderful hosts feature the Kerus wines as well as their complete collection of delicious options. You can take home the perfect dozen, and you choose what that dozen is. Donated by Ted and Tammy Brown.
All right, what on the Bricks and Columns there? What are you going to give on it? Bid 500. Who to give 5? But give $200 on it. But give $200 where? And $200. Now 25. And $200. But give $25. But give $25. But give $25. 225. 2.5. And 225. 2.5. But give 75. 275. 3. And 275. But give 30. But give 85. But give 30. But give 275. 3. 275. But give 30. But give 30. But get 75, but get 30, but get 75, 3, and 275, now 3, and 275, but get 30, but get 75, but get 30, but get $300, bid 25, and $300, but get 25, 300, but get 25, about 325, 3.5, and 325, but get 3.5, 25, but get 300, but get 300, but get 75, and 300, but get 75, but get 75, about 75, 4, and 375, but get 4 and 4, and 75, but get 4, but get 75, but get 4, but get 75, but get 4, and last call 75, 4, and 375, but get 4. Come on, Derek, she'll let you do it. 375, 4, and 375, but get 4, but get 75, 4. Sold it right here for 375.
Check out the Anton Garicki painting featuring the peaceful landscape and colorful scene of South Africa with the traditional cottages. Anton is a Johannesburg, South African native, and he reflects the vibrant culture and the history in his work. It is an original showpiece for your home.
And that is real to life right there. What are you going to give Hart? Bid 500. Who to give 5? But give it, give out it, 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 but give it, $200 where? And $200 on it, but give it, but give it, but give it, but give it, $200. Bid 25, but give it, 75, and 75, but give it, 30, but give it, 75, but give it, $300, but give it, 3.5, and 3.5, but give it, 25, 3, but give it, 25, and 3, but give it, 25, and 300, but 325, and now 3.5, and 325, but give it, 3.5, 350, 3.5. 75, ma'am, and 75 here, 75, 4, and 375, but get 4, 4, and 75, but get 4, but get $400, bid 25, got her in the back, 425, 50, and 425, but get 50, 50, 425, but get 50, 450, 75, and 475, but get 500, but get out of it, but get 500, but get out of it, 500, bid 25, and 525, 5.5, and 525, but get out of it, but get out of it, but get 550, but get 550, now 75, and 5, but get 75, 6, and 575, but get 6, 75, you're bidding $600, bid 25, and $600, but get 25, about unseated, but get 625, 6.5, and 625, but get 6.5, and 650, and 650, now 75, and 650, but get 75, about 75, and 650. You can get back in now, 650, she's done, 650, but get 75, and 650, but get 75, about get 75, and 650, but get 75, go through one time, and 650, but get 675, and now 700, now 25, and 700, but get 25, but get 7.5, and 7.5, but get 75, 7.5, better give it 75, 75, 8, and 800, better give it 800, better give it 25, 80, better give it 25, better give it 8 and a half, 8 and a half, better give it 75, 875, 9. Way to go. 875, better give it 99, better get 900, better give it 25, 925, better give it 9 and a half, 9 and a half, better give it 75, 950, better give it 75, but $1,000 for it. How about $1,000 on it, better give it 1100, 1100, now 12, 1100, better give it $1,200, better give it 13, 12, better give it 13, better give it 20, better give it 20, better give it 20, better give it 20, better give it 13, and 12, better give it 13, now 14, and 14, 15, 14, better give it 15, 14, better give it 15, 14. I think he'll do it again. 14, 15, 16, and 16, 17, and 16, better give it 7, 16, better give it 7, 16, better give it 7, 16, better give it 17, 16, better give it 17, and 16, 17, 16, better give it 17, better give it 17, 16, better give it 17. Sold at $1,600. Give that family a round of applause.
Yes, indeed. Take home with you an original Tamara Gibson arrangement that's made by this local artist and our Kerus committee member. The floral design features an antique dough bowl, and many of you will remember your own grannies using those dough bowls, filled with oncidium orchids, which will stay blooming for 6 to 8 weeks and bloom twice a year, angel vine, pilea, and 2 kokodamas balls. Donated by Tamara Gibson.
All right, what do you give on that one? Bid 200 on it. Better give it a tiddly, 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 better get 200 now 25 and $200. Better give it a 25. Tiddly, better give it a 25. Divided tiddly, better give it a 25. Divided tiddly, better give it a 25 on the money. 200 bid 25 and $200. 225, 2 and a half and 225. Better give it a 2 and better give it a 75. 2 and better give it a 75. Better give it a 75. Divided up at 75. 275, 3 and $300. Better give it a 25. 3 and better give it a 25. Divided up at 25. Divided better give it a 25. 325 and $300. Better give it a 25 and $300 on him. Better give it a 25. Divided 3. Better give it a 25. Divided 3. Better give it a 25. Divided 3. Better give it a 25. I'm going to sell it 325, 3 and a half and 3. Better give it a 75. 3. Better give it a 75. 350. Better give it a 75. 4 and $400. Better give it a 25. 4. Better give it a 25. Divided 425. 4 and a half. 4 and a half. Better give it a 75. 4. Better give it a 75. 5 and $500. $500. Better give it a 25. 525 and $500. Better give it a 25. Divided. Better give it a 25. 25. 5 and a half. 5 and a half. Better give it a 75. And 5 and a half. Better give it a 75. But it's 75 divided by 75. 6 and $600. Better give it a 25. And 6 better give it a 25. Divided 6 better give it a 25. Divided 6 better give it a 25. And 625. 6 and a half. And 6 and a half. Better give it a 75. 6 better give it a 75. Divided 6 better give it a 75. I sure am glad she gives you so much permission. 650 now 75. And 650 better give it a 75. And 650 better give it a 75. Divided 675. 7 and 670 better give it a 7. Better give it a 7. 7 675 better give it a 7. 7 $700 better get 25. And $700 better give it a 25. Divided 7 better give it a 25. Divided 7 better give it a 25. And $700 bid 25. And $700 better give it a 25. Divided 7 better give it a 25. Last call $700 better give it a 25. 725. $700 better give it. You done, ma'am? $700 better give it a 25. Sold it $700 right here, and I sure am glad you came.
So, is it a camper or is it a bar? Indeed, we saw this Longhorn mobile bar in the Secret Garden earlier, and now it can be yours for a day. It's perfect for wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, happy hours, showers, backyard parties, or any fun or vintage event. There are a few conditions. You do have full access for a day, but you provide the alcohol or other drink or food. Setup, breakdown, and delivery occurs within a 30-mile radius of Harrisonburg. The full use of the accessories in the bar are for you to use. The cooler, the keg tap service, which is for a half-barrel keg or for 2 sixlets. Running water and hot water and electrical outlets are on board. There's carbon dioxide for kegs that's provided. It does require a 220 outlet ideally, but it can use the 110 standard outlet. The 220 outlet, however, will let you have air conditioning and the hot water option. The date needs to be mutually agreeable, and we are grateful to have this donated by Adam and Caitlin Berkey.
Woohoo! All right, what are you going to give on it? How about $1,000 on it? $1,000 on it. How about one? Better give it a $1,000. Bid 500. 500. Everybody needs an excuse to have a party. How about 500? 500 and go. $200 and let's get it started. $200 where? And $200 on it. $200 and a 25. And $200 25 about and 25 about and 25 and $200 on the money. $200 25 about 225 and 2.5, ma'am. And 225 75 $3 75 3 275 3 $300 25 and 325 5 and $500 $1,000 now 1,100 and 1,050 11 you sure 1,075 just for you 1,050 75 and 1,050 75 sold at $1,050. Thank you, good sir.
Enjoy an East and West feast for 8.
Hold your hand up there a little while so they can find you. There you go.
All right, back to the East and West feast for 8. Nan Fei Leo will create an authentic multi-course Asian dining experience using family recipes in the home of Kathy Slusher and Don Flegel. Top it off with a variety of paired wines by me, all served by the Kerus friends from Harrisonburg, OBGYN. Celebrate friends, an anniversary, a birthday, or just getting out. The dates are to be mutually agreeable, and it's donated by Nan Fei, Don and Kathy, and Harrisonburg, OBGYN.
Woo! Wave to them. There you go. All right, here we go. What are you going to give, Hart? How about $1,000 on it? How about $1,000 on it? How about $1,000? Hey, she's selling it well. How about $1,000 on it? How about $1,000? I got $1,000 and now 1,100. Way to go, girl! $1,000, $1,100, $11,000. I got you at 1,000, 1,100. I'll let you bid again though. $1,000, $11,000. Don't leave him alone like that. $1,000. Bid 11, $1,000, bid 11, 11, bid 11, 11, 11, bid 11, 11, bid 1100, bid $1,000, bid 11, bid 11, $11,000, bid 11. You scared them all off. $1,000, bid 1100, $1,000, bid 11, bid 11, bid 11, bid 11, bid $1,000, bid 11, bid anywhere. $1,000, bid 1100, 1100. How about $1,000, bid 11, bid 11, bid 11. I'll let you bid again now. You want to do 11? $1,000, bid 11, bid 11, 11, 10, bid 11, 11, 10, bid 11, 11, $1,000, bid 11. 1,100. Sold it right there. Good man.
Enjoy a 3-day weekend getaway in wild, wonderful West Virginia at the Thorn Creek Cabin, just an hour away and 5 miles outside of Franklin, West Virginia. You can fish for native trout from the property or hike or mountain bike. The cabin features 3 bedrooms, 2 with king beds and 1 with twins, and 2 full baths. You do have cell service and high-speed internet with AT&T or Sprint, but you don't have to tell. If you want to go even further, you venture out to continue the experience at Rocks with a zip line canopy tour or the Via Ferrata rock climb at Nelson Rocks with beautiful views and passes for 2. Then zip on down to Smokehole Caverns and Seneca Caverns with tours for 4 at each place. Pop on over to Highland County and enjoy 2 tastings at the Big Fish Cidery and spend 1 day with a challenging round for golf 4-4 at the Highlands Golf Club. Come back each day to a large front porch of the cabin, relaxing to the sound of the stream and see the grace of the deer. Donated by Danita Alt, Rocks Adventure Center, Smokehole Caverns, Seneca Caverns, Highlands Golf Course, and the Big Fish Cidery.
All right, that's a mouthful. What are you going to give Hart? How about $1,000 on it? How about one? Give it $1,000 where? 500 and let's go. Who to get five? Give it 500 now 6 and 500. Give it 600. Give it 7 give it 8 800. Give it 9 give it 8 9 give it $1,000. Give it 11 give it 1100 1100. Give it 12 give it 13 1200. Give it 13 12 and a half and 1200. Give it 12 and a half 20 give it 20 give it 20 give it 20 give it 12 and a half and 1200 12 and a half 13 13 and a half and 13 give it 13 and a half, but give it 13, but give it 14, 14, but give it 14 and a half, and 14, but give it 14, but give it 14, but give it 14, but give it 14 and a half, and $1,400 bid half, 14, but give it half, and 14, but give it half, but give 14 and a half. Last call, sir, 14 and a half, 14 and a half, now 15, and 1,500, but give it 15 and a half, 15, but give 16. Excuse me, 16 and 16. But give it a 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 17 and 17. But give it a 17. But give it a 17. But give it a 18. 18. But give it a 18. But give it a 19. 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 But give it a 2. But give it a 21 and 21. But give it a 21. But give it a 21. But give it a 21 and $2,000 bid 21 and but give it a 21 or 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 but give it a 21 2 and 21 but give it a 2. They had to think about that one really hard. 21 2 and 21 but give it a 2 and 21 but give it a 21 and a half, just 21 and a half and now 2 and 21 but give it a 2 but give it a 20 but give 1 but give it a 2 but give it a 2 but give 1 but give it a 2 but give it a 1 but give it a 2 but give it a 2 1 but give it a 2 21 and a half bid 2 sold it $2,150 right here.
Feeling like a speakeasy evening? Treat 20 guests to an evening in Jack's Hideaway in downtown Harrisonburg. Traditionally clandestine spaces in the Prohibition era, speakeasies featured some of the most original cocktails of the time. Jack's features the drinks of the highest quality ingredients and spirits, including 100 different bourbons, ryes, whiskeys, and scotches from around the world. Jack will supply a bartender, a door person, and $300 of food and beverage. Anything above $300 is the responsibility of the purchaser, as well as the 20% gratuity fee. A good time will be had by all, and this was donated by Jack Brown's.
All right, what are you going to give on this one? How about $1,000 here again? 500. Who to get 5? But give it a $300 where? And $300, $300, but get 25. $300, but give it a 25. And $300, but give it a 3.5. 25, but give it a 3, but give it a 4, but give it a 4, but give it a 4.5. And 4, but give it a 5, but give 5, but give it a 5, but give it a 6, 6, 5, but give it a $600, but give it a 6, but give it a 7, 7, 6, but give it a 7. And 6.5, but give it a 7, 7, but give it a 7, 7, $700, but give it a 7.5. And 7.5, but give it a 8, but give it a 8, $800, but give it a 8.5. 8.5, but give it a 9, but give it a 900, but give it a 9.5, but give it a 1 and 9.5, but give it a 1, but give $1,000, but give it a 50. And $1,000, but give it a 50, but give it a 50, $50,000, but give it a 50. And $1,000, but give it a 50, 50, 10, but give it a 50, $50,000, but give it a 50, 50, but give 50. I'll go through one time. $1,000, but give it a 50, $50,000, but give it a 50, but give it a 50, $50,000, but give it a 50, $50,000, but give it a 50. Last chance, $1,000 bid 50. Sold it right here, $1,000. Let me know when you're going. Let me know when you're going.
Me too. Feel the coolness and the peace with a snowshoe resort experience. Schedule 3 midweek days and nights in the Ski In, Ski Out condo that sleeps 6 to 8 people and has amazing views. The trip includes 6 ski lift tickets and your choice of 3 meal certificates for $75 each at the Old Spruce Brewery or the Old Spruce Tavern. The Powder Shack of McGahkeysville has added a male and female of each. Flannel shirts, Smith goggles, t-shirts, wool socks, beanies, and mittens. The sooner you book your dates, the better, as they are subject to availability. And this getaway was donated by Kathy Slusher and Don Flegel, Lawrence Walkup of Old Spruce, and Melanie Ledford of the Powder Shack.
Woo! All right, how about 2,500? 25, but give it a 25, $2,000 on it. $1,000 and let's go. Everybody wants in. How about one? Give it $1,000 to have you? $1,000 now 11. $1,000, but give it on the money. $1,000, but give it 1,100. $1,000, but give it 11. But give it 11. But give it $1,000. But give it 1,100. $1,000, but give it 11. But give it 1,100. Now 12 and 1,200. But give it 13. 12. But give it 13. But give it 13. 14 and 14. But give it 15. 14. But give it 15. $1,500. But give it 16. But give it 17. 16. But give it 17. 18 and 18. But give it 19. 18. But give it 19. 18. But give it 19. 18. 19. 18. But give it 19. 18. But give it 19. 1800. But give it 19. 18. 19. $1,800 and but give it 19. 18. 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 But give it 19. Last call. 18 with you, sir. I'm with you at 18. 19. 18. But give it 19. 18. But give it 19. Last call and 18. 19. Sold it to you right there for $1,800 right there. Thank you.
The amazing local chef and award-winning wine expert, Emmy Award-winning, by the way, Tassie Pippert, returns to the columns at Sixpenny Farm to create a fabulous multi-course dinner for 8 to be served right here, but over in the home. Each course will be perfectly paired with the award-winning Virginia wines. Wine and food descriptions with the pairings will be discussed with each course, and accommodation will be made for your choice, indoor or outdoor, with dates mutually agreeable, donated by Tassie Pippert and Dr. Steve and Stephanie Pence.
All right, what are you going to give on this one? How about $500 on it? $500, but give it here, yeah, and 500. Now 6 and $500, but give it a signified, but give it a signified, but give it 500, but 25 and $500, but give it 25, but give it 25, 5, 25, 5.5 and 5.5. Can't see him, Nick. 5.5, 5.25, but give it 5, but give it 5, but give it 5.25, but give it 5.5 and 5.25, but give it 5, but give it 25, but give it 5.5 and now 75 and 5.5, but give it 75. But give it a $600, but give it 25, 625, 6.5, and 6, but give it 75, 6, but give it 75, but give it 75, 7, and 700, but give it 7, 75, but give it 7, 700, but give it 25, and 700, but give it 725, 7.5, 25, but give it 7, but give it 75, and 7.5, but give it 75, but give it 8, but give it 8, and 8, but give it 25, and 8, but give it 25, but give it 8.5, 8.5, but give it 8.5, but give it 75, and 8, but give it 75, but give it 9, 9, but give it 9, 9, but give it 25, 9.25, but give it 9.5, but give it 25, but give it 9.5, but give it 75, about 75, and 9.5, but give it 75, about but give it 75, about 9, but give it 75, about 975, and 1,000, and 975, but give it $1,000, but give it 25, and $1,000, but give it 25, about but give it 10, but give it 25, about 10, but give it 25, and 25, but give it 10.5, and 25, 10.5, and now 75, new blood, and 10, but give it 75, about 10, but give it 75, about 10, but give it 75, about 10, but don't let that scare you. And 10, but give it 75, about 10, but give it 75, about 10, 75, 11, and 10, 75, but give it 11, 11, 75, but give it 11, 11,000, but give it 11, 11,000, but give it 11, 11, but give it 10, 75, 11, and 10, 1,100, now 25, 1,100. You beat one, you can beat another one. But give it 1,100, but give it 25, 1,100, but give it 25, about 11, but give it 25, 1,100, but give it 25, 11, but 11, 25, 11. 11 and a half, 11 and a half, but give it 75, 11 and a half, but give it 75, about 11 and a half, but give it 75, about but give it 11 and a half, but give it 75, about 11 and a half, but give it 75, 11 and a half, but give it 75, about but give it 11 and a half, but give it 75, about last call, 1175, sold, $1,150 right here, Adam.
Our second ironwood piece of the evening is this precious giraffe. A Malawian sculptor created this piece just for you to display prominently, and this sweet lady also suffered a mishap coming from South Africa, but I'm pleased to tell you she is another surgical success.
All right, what are you going to give on this one, guys? How about $1,000 here? How about one? How about give it one? How about give it one? How about give it $1,000 on it? How about one? How about give it one? How about give it one? How about give 500 on it? Who did it 5? But give it 5. 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 Where? Yeah, 500. Now 6 and 500. But give it 500. But give it 500. But give it 25 and 500. But give it 25. 500. But give it 25. About 25. But give it 5. But give it 25 and $500. But 25 and $500. But give it 25. But give it 25. 25. You all done? How about 500? 525. Now about a half. And 500. 50. 75. And 575. $600. 25. 600. 25. 75. 675. 7. And $700. 25. 725. 7 and a half. And 7. 75. 775. 800. 25. 825. 8 and a half. 8 and a half. 825. 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 8 and a half. Sold it to you, ma'am, for $825.
Thank you for your
Hold
wonderful.
your hand up, ma'am. There you go.
Thank you for your wonderful bids. And I'm going to invite Nigel Anderson to come forward. We've reached the part of our program where we have a phone raise. And this is really important because anything raised here goes straight to the children. And John and Nigel are going to put it forth and tell you exactly what the amount of your donation will mean to a child in South Africa. Nigel?
Y'all make some noise for John. I'm actually a rapper, so I taught him everything he knows about auctioneering, auctioneerism, auction, all that stuff. Hey, hey, so my name's Nigel. I'm not going to stand in front of you long, which is what every pastor told me growing up. They were lying, but I'm not. I won't be before you long. I had the privilege to, in 2016, go to South Africa with Marsh and Jenny for the first time. And, you know, you have a lot of opportunities to do great things in your life and to touch great people and to see great things happen to you. But you've got a couple of key moments. We're all blessed with a couple of key, very transformative things that change your life forever. And that was one of those for me. We had the chance to go, and I went with my church, and we partnered with Marsh and Jenny, and I'd seen them come, but we got to go over there and do some good stuff and partner with them and do some talks around the community and some concerts and all that. And then we spent the last half of our trip really just going every day to the Orphan Care Center and visiting with the kids they were building up and the staff they were discipling and training and people that they've had the privilege to help lift up out of poverty and give them responsibility. Now they're running the center. And I just saw this. I came in on the tail end of some amazing work you guys have been a part of for 20 years that I got to see 5 years ago. And when we were on the way out, I asked Marsh and Jenny, I said, this is great. I don't know what I can add here. Like, what's something else that you need? And Marsha said, you know, what we really need is a safe house. And I said, what, pray tell, is a safe house? And then she told me about what happens to their girls as they develop and they grow, and they become at risk for trafficking. And there is no 911. There is no one to call. Nobody's coming. And she said, we need a place when our most vulnerable kids have somewhere that they can go, where we can put them to live, they can get the education they need, and they don't have to go back to a bad situation. And I hopped on the plane, and I came back home, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And then I remember cutting on my phone when the plane landed in Norfolk, where I live, and my phone getting dinged with all the, you know how you cut your phone on and you get hit with all the stuff. And I got hit with all these news reports, and one report stuck out to me. It said, Hampton Roads 13th in the country for trafficking. And I'm like, what is going on? Why am I getting inundated with this? I'd heard about IJM and all these great ministries, but when Marsh and Jenny told me about it, and I'm looking at the girl's face who I've been hanging out with all year, and she said she's at risk, it became real to me. And I saw the work that they were doing, that they're hands-on with these kids and hands-on with their community. And that when Marsha and Jenny go to Soshanguve, they walk down the streets and the community comes out cheering because Dr. Marsha and Dr. Jenny are here again. And they know that somebody, not only is just bringing them a parcel of food, that's small potatoes, but they know that Marsha and Jenny, who've been there for 15 years, the people that love us are back and they're here. And they come out, and the tears, I saw it with my own eyes. I saw the change they bring. I saw what God's doing through them. I saw what God's doing through you guys that have been walking for 20 years. And I'd never seen nothing like it. I don't know if I'll ever see anything else like it. It changed my life. So I called Dr. Marsha. I said, I don't know what I can do. All I know how to do is make music. I don't really have a lot of money to give, but I can make some songs about it. So we said, let's get this safe house built. And we made an album called Safe House. And we said, I'm gonna give every dime that comes in, and we put I was part of a label at the time. We put all that on hold, and we just started talking about Kerus and the Safe House, and hey man, could you cut some checks and send it over there? And then Marsha and Jenny started hitting you guys up saying, we're gonna get this Safe House up. And we worked really, really hard. If you want to hear it, the album's called Safe House. If you look it up on Spotify, you can hear it. But like all that was because of what they were doing over there, and I just wanted to do my part. And by the grace of God, in 2019, we saw that house go up. And it's up there now in South Africa. And we got 2 houses up. And Dr. Marsha and Jenny said, we got to create a curriculum to spread this message and to get this out. Because not only do we need this house where we are, but we got to use our educational skills to teach the world and teach the community that this cannot be and what trafficking is and how we can protect it. And it's that right there. To be here today and to see that sign, I'm very tired. So all of the filters I would put up to not let my emotions take over are gone. So y'all just getting all the raw stuff right now. Listen, to see that sign up when Dr. Marsha said 5 years ago, we just need one safe house, that is the fruition of a dream come true. And tonight, you are part of not only that house is going to be there, we're going to save a bunch of kids' lives. That's already happening. But you're a part of multiplying efforts tonight that you can't even dream if you haven't been there and put your feet on the ground. And I pray to God you go. Thank you for bidding and auctioning, and thank you for cutting the check in a minute. That's my job. I want you to cut some more checks. But listen, I pray to God that you do more than cut a check. I pray that sometime you get to go and see face to face what every dollar you gave tonight is actually doing. Because I know if you're here, you already give to some great stuff. And I'm not going to be arrogant enough to say this is the most important thing you can give to. I believe it is, but you give to some good stuff already. I just know this. If you give $1 to Dr. Marsha and Dr. Jenny, I promise to God you can trust them with every single one you give to them. And they're going to do their very best to steward it before God and before you to save more lives and to make sure people get to live and be treasured the way they're supposed to be. The fact that they're going to do this right here is going to save more lives in more multiplied ways than you could ever imagine. This isn't just a write-off tonight. You're literally saving lives. I know you get it, but I hope you get it. You're literally saving lives tonight. So on the back of your pamphlet, on the back of your program, it says what each donation amount can do. I'm not going to go through that all. You can read, right? It's right on the bottom of that thing. But I'm going to ask you guys, I really, really want to see them get over $100,000 tonight, and I want to celebrate with you. We can clap it up. Right now, we're at about 65,000 raised just tonight. Let's make some noise for that. That's a blessing. God is good. I'm really happy. Any of you guys who are moved to do that, I'm not, I just want to, I'm hoping they can get over 100 because I think that'll be a record for them. And I really want to see this go. This is going to go towards marketing, getting their radio program out, making sure more people in more schools and more universities get the opportunity to hear it. They're already getting tapped on universities here in the States. They've got a ton of connections overseas. 5 million people touched, 53 nations reached. They've already got a network that we can tap into. If you give tonight, it's going to help that happen, and it's going to help put food into the mouths of the grannies and the orphans right in Soshanguve. They feed and take care of 100 people on a regular basis that don't have anywhere else to go. They just went back on lockdown. If they go out of their house, they're getting shot with rubber bullets. Where do you get groceries from? Last year, they sent over 30 tons of food into that community because of you. They're doing the work. So we get to save children from the horrors of sex trafficking, and we get to feed an entire community who has no hope outside of what we do tonight. I thank God for you being here. But what I want to ask you to do is, if you look at that on the back of your pamphlet, you see that 5,000 line? If any of you have the ability to do that and to give a gift of $5,000, I would ask you to raise your phone so they can come and make note of that. And I would love for you to be able to do that. That $5,000 gift is going to take care of so many things. It's going to take care of marketing this curriculum. It's going to take care of reaching people in the community. It's going to feed people right there in Soshanguve. If any of you have the ability to give $5,000, please lift up your phone so Jen can take note of that. $5,000 going once, going, trying to, 5,000 going, I said, I told you, I taught him everything else. If any of you have the ability to give 5,000, please let us know. Next, I would like to see if any of you have the ability to give 20. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. This is how you actually can give. Forgive me. I thought Jen was going to have to come and make note. You can actually scan this right on your table with your smartphone, and it'll take you right to a giving link that you can give right there. It's right on your table. You take a picture of the QR code, and it'll take you right to the giving link you need to. Is that right? Is that correct? They'll take you right to that giving link you need to give to. The next thing I'd like to ask, the next level we'd like to consider is if you have the ability to give $2,500 towards the work that Kerus Global is doing in Soshin Guve and soon around the world with this continued curriculum. Please scan this QR code and let us know if you could do that, please. I'll give you just a moment to consider. Thank you. We have one over here. Thank you so much for that. Please celebrate that. Thank you very much. Is it just this? Does Jen need to come and take note of that? It said phone ring. Okay, either way. Got you. Thank you so much. The next thing we'd like to ask you to consider is if you have the ability, would you look at a possible gift of perhaps $1,500 that can go directly towards the work that Dr. Marsha and Dr. Jenny are doing in our culture and in Soshin Guve? Thank you, sir. Please celebrate that. Make some noise for that. I really appreciate that, sir. Again, scan the QR code, make note of it right there, and we'll get that tracked for you. The next to last gift we'd like to ask for you to consider is if you have the ability to consider a $1,000 gift tonight. We'd really appreciate that. Again, we're close to that $100,000 goal because we got about $65,000 raised. Please give on the QR code right on the middle of your table. She's popular. Lastly, but not leastly, if you have the ability to give a gift of $500 or less, please consider scanning that QR code right there on your phone. Lift your phone up so we can celebrate that gift. We'd like to do this in community, but you can scan right here and give right at your table. Oh, celebrate that, please. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Oh, one more. Thank you so much. I don't know where that was. Thank you very much for doing that. Listen, guys, Dr. Jenny said they just went on lockdown, but hopefully they'll open the restrictions soon in South Africa. I pray that you consider taking the opportunity to travel with them, with Dr. Marsh and Dr. Jenny. I know a lot of you guys are probably traveling and seeing a lot of mission work. The experience that they put together there has transformed my life. I hope you have the chance to go and see face-to-face what you've given to and what you've been a part of tonight. You've literally changed lives, saved lives, provided for people back home in Soshin Guve who are friends of mine. So I personally thank you very much. God bless you. I'm going to pass the mic back to Dr. Marsh and Dr. Jenny. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nigel. Thank you for your participation and generosity. And as Everyday People comes back to the stage, I want to do a few thank yous. Sayabonga, which means thank you from South Africa, from our grannies and from our children. They are so grateful for everything you have accomplished tonight and that you do for them every day. Also want to thank John Bowman, and I want to thank the Pences for giving us this wonderful place. I want to thank Mike Stolzfus for live streaming. Thank you to the Mosquito Authority for minimizing our unwanted guests. And be sure to pick up your coupon for home services at checkout. Thank you to Shannon and Hillary for the music in the garden. Thank you to Straits Donuts and Klein's Ice Cream for the evening treats. And to Tamara Gibson. Thank you for our amazing and dedicated Kerus staffers who worked hard for months to bring this event together. And most of all, thank you to our gracious sponsors who made this evening possible and enhanced the lives of these precious children, and to each of you who have given by your presence of being here tonight. And remember, checkout is in the building. Don't forget to stop by before you leave, but we still got a lot more to go with Everyday People. Give it up.
Always repeat after me, say A, B, C. Easy as 1, 2, 3. As simple as do, re, mi. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, baby, you and me, girl. A, B, C. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Simple as do, re, mi. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, baby, you and me, girl.
I'm gonna love you just a little bit.
Show you what I tell you what it's all about.
Come on, let me show you what it's all about.
Reading and writing arithmetic off the branches of the learning tree.
Without the roots of love every day.
Your education incomplete. Teacher's gonna show you
Show you.
how to get in there. Me, you, and the crew. Down there, baby. All you got to do is say A, B, C. Yeah.
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
As simple as do, re, mi. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, baby, you and me, girl. A, B, C. It's easy. It's like counting up to 3. Sing a simple melody.
That's how easy love can be.
Girl.
Sing a simple melody. 1, 2, 3, you and me.
Sit down, girl. Think I love you. Now, get up, girl. Show me what you can do.
Shake it, baby. Shake it, baby.
Uh-uh.
Shake it, baby. 1, 2, 3, baby. A, B, C, baby. Don't rape me, baby. That's how easy love can be. A, B, C.
It's easy. It's like counting up to 3. Sing a simple melody.
That's how easy love can be.
Girl, I'm gonna throw you up, sing it out.
Come on, let me show you what it's all about. A, B, C.
Baby, it's like counting up to 3. Sing a simple melody.
That's how easy love can be.
I'm gonna show you how to sing it out, yeah.
Yeah.
A, B, C, it's easy. It's like counting up to 3. Sing a simple melody.
That's how easy love can be. Sing a simple melody. 1, 2, 3, you and me.
I don't know if you brought your dancing shoes or not, but we got a lot of space here if you guys want to maybe move around. Just have a good time. I don't know. Play it again. Ready? Ha! Looking at the devil gotta jive and wail. Oh, you gotta jump jiving, then 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 you away. Oh, you gotta jump jiving, then 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 you away. Oh, you gotta jump jiving, then 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 you away. Oh, you gotta jump jiving, then 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 you away.
Here we go.
No, I'm the king of the swingers, boy, jungle VIP. I've reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's bothering me. I wanna be a man, no man cub, stroll right into town and be just like the other men. I'm tired of monkeying around, so shoo. I wanna be just like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you do. You see, it's true. An ape like me can learn to be human too. Now don't you mess with me, man cub. I made a deal with you. What I desire is man's red fire, so I can be just like you. Don't you mess with me, man cub. Show me what to do. Give me the power of man's red cloud, so I can be just like you. So ooh, I wanna be just like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you do. You see, it's true. An ape like me can learn to be human too. Ooh, I wanna be just like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you do. You see, it's true. An ape like Miles can learn to be human too. I wanna be just like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you do. You see, it's true. An ape like me can learn to be human too.
switch others later.
We switched that one too, though.
We switch that's the way and get down.
Okay, you're right. You're right. We did.
I think so.
You're right. I'm pretty sure we switched it too, but okay.
When you feel down and out, sing road. I got you.